Welcome! We're playing Need for Speed Heat because I installed it earlier and I can't work out if I like it or not. Also, yes, I'm offline for one reason. Games like this really piss me off with the constant nagging about being online. Ubisoft did the same thing in Ghost Recon. The constant nagging about being online and do you want people to join your party and do you want to invite people? No, I don't. I just want to sit and play the game and enjoy the game that I spent my money on. I don't want to play it with other people. If I did, I'd have bought a multiplayer game, or I'd choose the multiplayer option. Stop nagging me to play online. Oh. That camera wasn't recording. Oh, what's this bloody arsehole doing? That's me, by the way.
You're only spending bank on that ride if you've got a name.
I could just buy things anyway without a name. That's how shops work. You don't go into bloody Primark, do you? And they go, I don't know who you are. Please leave. Yeah, I spent a couple of hours on this earlier and can't work out if I like it or not. So I do have some complaints with this game already, though. To initiate a drift, you sort of lift the trigger and tap it down again. Sort of like a lift, tap, hold. There you go. There you go. That's how you drift. No need for a handbrake or anything like that. That annoys me. Also, the soundtrack is shite and there's no switching things. You can skip to the next track and there's only about 5 tracks. Both 5 tracks for the daytime and 5 tracks for the night. It's the worst soundtrack ever. The first Most Wanted game had everything. It had executioners, it had a bit of Cell Dweller in there. You know, there was like a bit of everything for everyone. You wanted hip-hop, it was there. You wanted rap, it was there. You want metal? Well, there you go, it was there. Standard rock, that was there. Everything you could want was on that soundtrack. And now it feels like EA tend to license out music just for The Sims. And you're like, well, why not set the deal to, you know, why not license the music for more than one game? Because think about it, even if they licensed out all of the songs from The Sims for this game, that would still be a better mix of music than what they've put in, because at least there'd be a bit of everything. Plus the fact that they've already got that system in place to select music that plays throughout a game in The Sims, so why not bring that choice system over to this and give me the choice of turning all of the crap songs off? And yeah, I'd probably be left with like 1 or 2 tracks and that's it, but still, at least I wouldn't have to hear the rubbish music that this game throws at you constantly. Hey look, there's the guy who's in 8. We win. Yeah, if it didn't have like the main menu defaulting to online and like a rubbish soundtrack, shoddy controls, fairly poor handling, but you can kind of get used to vehicle handling. I find I eventually get used to Ubisoft driving physics, so getting used to EA driving physics is the same thing. I just thought, it handles as if you've taken GTA 4's handling physics and sort of stuck them in tar, and they were already fairly boaty. It's like a heavier version of GTA 4, which is impressive in the wrong way. Because I didn't mind GTA 4's driving physics. To me, that was fine, because you never really did anything that fast, but you couldn't really get the speed up in many places. So having heavy physics wasn't a bad thing. Whereas this game is literally designed around you go fast. Go fast, do thing. Having heavy physics in this just doesn't feel right. Another similarity to GTA 4 though is the annoying people when you're driving around. I'm amazed we've not been interrupted that time, but every other time I've been driving in this game, I've had someone going, oh, have you gone out to the country and looked at that yet? Whilst I was driving in the country. Person in 8th place's name is Roadkill Gunner. Bell end names. Gunner isn't. I'll give him that. Gunner is a name that I have heard like normally, but why couldn't we call like Dave? I don't know. I want a new car. I want a Subaru. I made the mistake of going to the auto dealership to take a look at what cars were in there. There are 2 Mitsubishi Lancers, but there are also 2 Subarus. The BRZ does not count as a Subaru. Again, just like Grid did, I have a feeling that I'll probably play this off stream. No. Oh, look at him with his stupid bloody knees. No. Get back. Oh, we've caught up to the rest of the pack. There we go, second. I won every race off stream. Every single, well, no. Minus the first race, I won every race. As soon as I start streaming, second. There you go. Pestering me. I'm not in downtown. I'm in the hills. But yeah, another thing that annoys me is that map. Because it looks like you've come up to a corner when really you are nowhere near the corner. And that makes it so difficult to navigate anywhere. Like your markers don't seem to sit in the right place on it or anything like that. But to counter that point, One of the things I do love about this game are the reflections, because my god do they look good. Even the reflections on the slightly wet surface, not where the puddles are, is amazing. Just that slight gleam. Even though this is all hipster new, oh look, we've got LEDs and we can put them on everything. Look at the reflections on the back of the car as well. Like, it is nice looking, this game, apart from one of the bushes. One of the bushes seems to be heavily, like, pixelized. It's really weird. It just seems to be a really nice looking game. Well, we took that spot. I don't know if we're going to keep it to the end, but if we do, we're going to finish in second. And that's quite good. Yes! That'll do for me. So going down that. Oh. Oh, that one actually made my stomach go funny. Oh, God. I should stop, but... Oh. Well, there you go. That got me to stop, didn't it? Ooh. Ooh. So another thing, this story to the game, I tried to watch a couple of cutscenes at the beginning to try and get a gist of it. No idea. There's an annoying guy who you got your car off, and then he's got an equally annoying sister who's like uber lad, and you just like shut the fuck up, and then he's just a bellend. So both of them are equally unlikable. The issue is I think I'm meant to like them. Like I say, one of them's the guy you meet first and gives you this car, and it's the first garage you stay in and all that shit. And then you bump into his sister, just so happens. She reminds me of the twins from Far Cry New Dawn. That kind of irritating. I'm hoping that that changes the way the NOS works, because at the minute I press the button, it fires all of the NOS at once. Don't like that. I like to have control over it. I want to be able to like give a little tap of NOS as I'm coming out of a corner, just to kick the car straight, and then still have enough for, you know, if you started to get busted, you'd still have enough to sort of kick yourself forwards just enough and get your speed up to where it stops the busted bar thing. Because for some reason, rolling forwards, they can still arrest you. Go figure. I'm sorry, but the map told me I was supposed to turn earlier than that. Just watch the map. You'd turn now, wouldn't you? Not a few seconds later. It's an awful map. The map itself is good. Having a waypoint is great, and a line that sort of shows you only what's remaining of your lap. Brilliant. The way the markers work on it, like that marker just looked like it wasn't on the track, instead of being in the centre of the road. This one's off to the left-hand side, even though that's the start-finish line. It feels like someone's made a Need for Speed game who shouldn't have made a Need for Speed game, if that makes sense. Like one of those knockoff games, like it's only one of those good ones. It's still a great game, but it's not quite what you wanted. See, what I'd do if I was EA was, even though Need for Speed Carbon wasn't your greatest hit, I'd get my inspiration from that. Because that one only didn't do as well because it was always living up. It was so close to Underground 2's release that it was still in the shadow of it. And the same with Most Wanted. For me, Most Wanted is a better game than Underground 2. It improved the handling without breaking drifting. It added more customization. It added more variety in the soundtrack. And whilst it removed a couple of features from races like SUVs, it made up for it. But if you take Most Wanted, as in original Most Wanted, proper Most Wanted, and add in a bit more neon and a bit more of the underground styling in parts and stuff like that, you know, part selection, things of that nature, as well as adding in the auto mod thing from Need for Speed Carbon, right there you have the best game. Obviously change the cars for new cars, you know, like this one, add classic cars and everything up to Teslas. Well, that feature set would be guaranteed winner. Oh, hello to you as well, Officer Bellend. And also, why in a town that's supposed to be built on racing and centred on racing is there only one car dealership? It's a Monopoly. Only a really crap Monopoly where you just bought Mayfair and no other board space exists. And hey, look, Subaru. And a fake Subaru. See, I thought the car looked familiar, but then the stance of it with that camber on the wheels was just ridiculous. Made it look awful. The BRZ you can't ruin. It's already crap. See, again, a little bit of NOS there would have been perfect to just kick it out. See, the problem is, even if I'd let go of it for a split second to slow down before a corner, it initiates a drift every time. Right, come on. We're just going to go for the old smasheroo, I think. Here we go. No, no. Ass. Ass. Get back. No, no. Oh! We're not finishing third. Not when we were in first on that last corner. That's not happening. So yeah, we've got like 3 cars that I want to buy in this before I make my way down to like Mitsubishi and stuff like that. Obviously, I'm going to get both of the Subarus, both the 2010 version and, you know, the full sedan version, which I can't remember which year it is in this. I don't think it's a 2002. Might be a 2016 one when they brought the body back. We're going to get those 2. I also want a Ford Focus RS, so we're going to get that as well. Now, if I could just catch this guy up, slam him into a wall, then we'd be okay. But this is what annoys me about AI drivers. You can see that it doesn't matter what the car does, it's always flat going around corners on a set sort of track, like Scale Electric's car. Whereas we have like body roll and whatever we do sort of affects the way the car goes. Whereas them, just watch, when they go on a different surface, they don't move, they don't slow down, whereas we do as soon as we hit like grass or something. We slow right down. And look, our drift seems to take a lot of speed away from us. Whereas when they drift, it takes nothing. They just sort of carry on at the same speed that they entered the drift. It's not about like managing the drift or anything, it's exactly the same drift. But for some reason, ours takes off speed and time. Theirs doesn't. That's frustrating. Because why have it where if I do this to get around a corner, so I ease off for this corner, tap it, and it's a drift. Because that's how you initiate a drift. Why have that as the thing when I want to slow down for a corner? What I don't want is to have it drift around a corner if that's going to cost me time. Why would I? Always be racing my ass. That I like. Using the D-pad to control your objectives, and you can keep them up there as long as you want. Pressing up and down switches which objectives you get to read. It's a very nice touch. So far this is actually a quite fun game. Just there are a couple of things that I'd tweak if I was EA or Ghost, and it'd probably be a perfect game. It would definitely be the best Need for Speed game to date in the modern era. I know that's not really saying much, is it? And the map isn't overly large either. Like, that looked like it was a long way away, that marker, from where we started, but it really wasn't. This versus F1, at least you can bump into people on this. That's a good thing. Much better than F1 where you give him a little bit of a tap, let him know you're next to him, and he starts crying. In this, I've driven people straight off. I did it earlier, didn't I? It's just how it goes. Oh. Go on, police car. Get him, and then come back and get second place. Do like that. The police ignored me, went for first place, whereas normally, it seems like the police only ever want you as the player. I'm sorry, but the reflections in this are just amazing. It is a very, very pretty game. The only thing I would say so far, it is not worth the full list price, definitely. I don't know where EA have got their pricing from. Wherever it is, they need to put it back and get some new pricing, because they seem to be overpricing their products constantly. Okay, another improvement I just thought of. They need to bring back the fact that when you do stuff like drive on the wrong side of the road, bump into someone, drift, do like drift variations, it builds up your NOS meter quicker. Oh shit. Oh, now we're talking. Now it's a Need for Speed game. And up and down. Oh yeah, that's another one. But the speed with which that busting bar fills up seems incredibly unreasonable. Look, I'm moving forwards at least 50 miles an hour. I've lost too much speed. I've lost too much speed. Should have saved the NOS. Oh no, I had enough speed. Oh, I've ruined that. Hasselhoff is gonna be pissed. Oh, this is another thing that bugs me. This follow me nonsense. No, because number one, you don't drive fast enough. Number two, you're a pain in the backside. Look, I'm not accelerating, and we were still outperforming. This is like Red Dead Redemption when you have to follow someone on horseback. At GTA when you're walking around with them. You're just like, come on, get on with it. Come on. Come on. Like, tell me all this in a cutscene that I can skip. Whoops. Didn't mean to do that, but it shows you how fast we are compared to her. Oh, you're trying to turn, are you? I'm just going to half. I'm not even going to put any pressure on the throttle. And we're still keeping up with her. Oh, you're turning. That was right. Do you mean left now? Couldn't you just given me a marker and said I'll meet you there? I've just killed them all. I just crashed into everyone there. Okay, I don't care about anything that you're saying. I just want to do the driving. And go. Bye-bye. Yeah, if we could get rid of those stupid sections as well, that'd be brilliant, EA. Nobody likes them in games where you're on foot. No one likes them in games where you're on a horse. Not in a horse. And no one likes them when you're driving. If they want to have a conversation while you're driving, get inside the car and have a conversation and I'll drive us there at speed. Otherwise, you're on the phone to me anyway, because you're in a different car, so I have no reason to stay near you. Tell me where we're going, I'll meet you there. Up and down. And also these absolutely non-witty one-liners that these other racers come out with do my absolute nutting. Like they'll say, oh, I'm right behind you. And you're like, no you're not. You're nowhere near. Look, I ain't just gonna roll over. Well, you're not even in second, and second place is quickly approaching a mile behind me. So, you know. And I win. Do you have other clothes?
No. Pick up the team. We got one en route. You back up from the vehicle.
Yeah, she's been wearing the same clothes for at least 5 nights. I know the guy has, but like the protagonist always seems to wear the same clothes.
Ice front.
Well, stop walking behind us then.
I got the power.
It's very rude.
Pound it. You ID.
ID, please.
Where is it? Over there.
Who was? It's the one that says police on the side.
Maybe I impounded the wrong one.
Yeah, maybe you did. But you're not going to impound a police car, are you? See, I was smart. Oh, good. Oh, look, you're in my car. You do know how to get in my car, don't you? So next time we're going somewhere, how about this? You get in my car and let me drive. This is a game about driving, not going very slowly and, like, listening to someone babble on. But I don't think the issues it has are enough to make it a bad game. I still think it's a good game with questionable execution, is how I'd describe it. And you can still feel that burnout influence in there. Things like the billboards and all the collectibles. I don't remember going around Rockport in Most Wanted looking for flamingos. Yes, it is a good game. I'll give them that. They've made a good game here. And it is a Need for Speed game, which is something I've not been able to say for a long time. The map is large, but not too large, and actually feels utilised, unlike in Just Cause, and unlike in Need for Speed, the one before this, that I've forgotten the name of. That had a map that was incredibly large, but too large. So going from the town to your airfield home base felt like a chore more than something pleasurable to do. Going up to the hill, the mountain area, was just a pain in the backside to get to, as you were travelling through like nothing for most of it. This game is large, but you are going places, you are constantly going there, and it's not too big where it becomes a monotonous journey. And I've always said, like, a well-designed, mid-sized map is a lot better than having a really large map for the sake of having a large map. and going, oh, look at how much space you can drive around in. Yeah, but is there anything to see or do in that large space that I can drive around in? No. Then what's the point? I'm going to get bored of driving a car in an empty desert, like I just am. This seems to change every 5 minutes, from driving in mountains to driving in the city to driving down a beach, side roads. From what I've seen of customization, that could be expanded, but not necessarily in the way that everyone expects. I'd expand it in the Need for Speed Carbon way, where you have a couple of fenders designed by the people at EA, and you have customizable sections on them. So for the front bumper, you'd have like customizable grille size, fin density, fin angle as well. That could be done. But I think that's how I do it, because that way you can make whatever you want. If they create 5 generic parts and say customize them how you want, then you can make any part you want. And you can make it look exactly how you want the car to look. And I understand it would be really difficult in the same way Rockstar never allowed you to eat and get fat or build muscle or anything like that, because it'd just look a bit janky if they didn't wholeheartedly go for it on the modern systems. But I think it'd be worth the time, because if you added that, nobody could legitimately complain about a lack of customization when you have given them the ability to create anything that they want. And if someone did complain about it, all EA have to do is have someone from their team go home that night and create whatever that person was complaining about not being in the game. They go home, they create that, they take a photo of it and say, there you go, that's it in the game. Created using the tools that we provided you with. Just in the sense of, if you spent less time moaning about it not being in the game, you could have made it be in the game yourself. Slow down the busted bar. Change the soundtrack to actually include a little bit of something for everyone, as opposed to just 2 generic styles. Yeah, well, give me a decent car then, instead of this Mazda piece of shite. Oh, I want to punch this man so hard in the face. Good, I crashed. Maybe we're all dead in this car now. And these bloody characters. Change the characters. Make them people who aren't absolute assholes constantly. Hey, keep that slide going. I know how to drift. Give me my car, I'll drift for days. The drift needs to be back to the handbrake, where tapping the handbrake initiates a drift.
That's what I'm talking about.
That one was done with the handbrake. See, you can link them if you use the handbrake.
How about you go around this track for real now?
Sure. Anything to get you out of the car and not talking to
Slam
them.
on the gas to initiate, then steering and control.
Die, please. If there was a way in the settings to turn off that sort of drift initiation with the accelerator, that would be enough for me. Just use the handbrake for it, and I'd be able to ease off the accelerator to where I can actually get around corners. Just for the sake of like my own sanity. Let me try and remember the course and do it in this car as it's set up now. Yeah, so by mixing the handbrake and the standard floor brake, foot brake thing, brake pedal, you stand a better chance of drifting in this game. Yeah, screw you, stupid flamingo. Ah, flamingo! That was almost perfect. Hey, it made a little walk. Fair enough.
You have no idea. I literally have.
Yeah, okay, I don't care about you not having a car. It's the greatest thing that's happened in this game so far. That's a really good game. Need for Speed Heat is not worth the amount they currently charge for it. Don't get it yet. Get it in a few months when the price comes down enough so that it's not extortionately expensive. EA charge too much for games off the bat, especially now that everything's gone digital only. There's no need for it at all to be as expensive as it is. The map is the right size. The handling you do get used to. Vinyl customization is actually quite good this time round. Downsides are the map is misleading. People won't stop talking to you while you're driving, and they keep saying the same shit over and over. What else is there? The driving sections where you're driving next to someone are a pain in the backside. It is the first proper Need for Speed game that's actually felt refined to a Need for Speed level, whereas the last ones have sort of been generic. Customization in the form of Underground 2, but what I mean by that is engines from different manufacturers, exhausts from different manufacturers. Instead of this like pro tier drivetrain, how about we get a branded drivetrain and just have different brands with different ratings on it? Like, you can have multiple products from the same brand and have them perform differently. So you're not going to insult a company by having theirs as the cheap version. Later on, they're going to be the expensive version anyway. I guess I should say, would I recommend it? Yes, when it's cheaper. So, as always, we are live on Twitch every Monday, Wednesday and Friday at 4 PM UK time. Highlights go up on YouTube every Monday, Wednesday and Friday. You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. The Discord server is up. Come join us on that. And yeah, that'll do it. So, until next time, thank you for watching, thank you for joining, and I will see you in a bit. Goodbye.